Hello and welcome back, everyone. My name is BDB137, and tonight we're going to be telling some jokes from r/Ask Reddit jokes. So just sit back, have a few laughs, and enjoy the show. This joke is brought to us by Lord Zero. Pete is walking down the harbor and sees two fishermen. He always wanted to have a go at fishing, so he goes up to them to ask. Pete has a stutter, though, so he goes, hello, guys, would you mind if I come fishing with you? They look at each other and decide that, yes, you can come, but be quiet. We don't want you to scare away the fish. So Pete, all happy, gets in the boat and they go out to sea. All goes well. Pete is having fun. The fishermen are getting fish. It's like a dream come true. Suddenly, behind them appears a huge ship, getting closer and closer. But the fishermen didn't notice, but Pete does, and he goes, guys, shh, you'll scare away the fish. But there's a shh, keep quiet, the fishermen go. The ship crashes into them. They start sinking and drowning, but luckily a passing ship notices them and saves them just in time. A few months go by. Pete was walking down the harbor again and he sees the fishermen. He goes up to them and they have a small chat. He asks if they could take him to the sea again for another fishing trip, which they agreed with one condition. If you see a ship, tell us fast this time. So they go out into the sea. Time passes. Fish get caught. Everyone is happy again. But Pete suddenly goes, guys, shh. The fishermen don't even wait for Pete to finish. In a panic, they jump into the water and start swimming. Pete goes, sharks, you idiots. Up next, we have a joke by Mr. Super Ted. A woman goes to buy a parrot. The prices are $100, $200, and $15. She asks why the last one is so cheap. Because he used to live in a brothel, says the shopkeeper. So she pays the $15. When she gets home, the parent says, fuck me, a new brothel. The woman laughs. When her daughters get home, the parrot says, fuck me, 2 new prozzies. The girls laugh too. When the dad gets home, the parrot says, fuck me, Pete, I haven't seen you for weeks. Our next post was by Longui 2012. A police officer pulls over a speeding car. The officer says, I clocked you at 120 kilometers an hour, sir. The driver says, Christ, officer, I had it on cruise control at 100. Perhaps your radar gun needs calibrating. Not looking up from her knitting, the wife says, now, don't be silly, dear. You know that this car doesn't have cruise control. As the officer writes out the ticket, the driver looks over at his wife and growls, can't you please keep your mouth shut for once? The wife smiles demurely and says, you should be thankful your radar detector went off when it did. As the officer makes out the second ticket for the illegal radar detector unit, the man glowers at his wife and says through the clenched teeth, fuck it, woman, can't you keep your mouth shut? The officer frowns and says, and I notice you're not wearing your seatbelt, sir. That's an automatic $75 fine. The driver says, yeah, well, you see, officer, I had it on, but I took it off when you pulled me over so I could get my license out of my back pocket. The wife says, now, dear, you know very well that you didn't have your seatbelt on. You never wear your seatbelt when you're driving. And as the police officer is writing out the third ticket, the driver turns to his wife and barks, why don't you shut the fuck up? The officer looks over at the woman and asks, does your husband always talk to you this way, ma'am? The wife replies, only when he's drunk. Our next joke was brought to us by Flickism. A woman who is 3 months pregnant falls into a deep coma. 6 months later, she awakes and asks the doctor about her baby. Doctor, you had twins, a boy and a girl, and they're both fine. Luckily, your brother named them for you. Oh no, not my brother. He's an idiot. What did he name the girl? Doctor, Denise. The woman, well, that isn't so bad. And what did he call the boy? The doctor, the nephew. Our next post was brought to us by the Blue Raccoon. Long ago, a man and woman got married. It was an arranged marriage, and they didn't really know each other beforehand. They rode away to their honeymoon in a horse-drawn buggy. As they rode along, the horse just stopped for no reason. That's 1, the man said. He flicked the reins, and they continued. Not much further down the road, the horse stopped again. That's 2, he said. He clicked his mouth, and they went on. Soon, the horse stopped again. And that's 3. He drew a revolver, cocked the hammer, and shot the horse in the head. It died instantly. "Oh my God, you killed that horse for no reason," the new bride exclaimed. "That's 1, he said. Up next, we have a joke by Hay Shilton. The train was quite crowded, and a U.S. Marine walked the entire length looking for a seat. There seemed to be one next to a well-dressed French woman, but when he got there, he saw it was taken by the woman's poodle. The war-weary Marine asked, "Ma'am, may I have that seat?" The French woman sniffed and said to no one in particular, "Americans are so rude. My little Fifi is using that seat." The Marine walked the entire train again, but the only seat available was under that dog. "Please, ma'am, may I sit down? I'm very tired." She snorted. "Not only are you Americans rude, you are also arrogant." This time, the Marine didn't say a word. He just picked up the little dog, tossed it out of the train window, and sat down. The woman shrieked, "Someone defend me! Put this American in his place!" An English gentleman sitting nearby spoke up. "Sir, you Americans seem to have a penchant for doing the wrong thing. You hold the fork in the wrong hand, you drive your autos on the wrong side of the road, and now, sir, you seem to have thrown the wrong bitch out the window." Up next, we have a post by Gil Gandil. "My girlfriend left a post-it note on the fridge saying, 'This isn't working.' But when I opened it, the lights came on and the food's still cold, so I don't know what she's talking about." Our next joke was brought to us by ETT3. A blonde with 2 red ears goes to see her doctor. The doctor asked her what happened to her ears, and she answered, "I was ironing a shirt and the phone rang, but instead of picking up the phone, I accidentally picked up the iron and stuck it to my ear." "Oh dear," the doctor exclaimed in disbelief. "But what happened to your other ear?" "That son of a bitch called back." Our next joke was brought to us by Udalo. Blonde guy gets home from work. He hears his wife screaming, coming from their bedroom upstairs. He sprints up and opens the door to see his wife lying naked on their bed, sweating and panting. "Honey, help! I'm having a heart attack." He runs back down the stairs and starts dialing the ambulance when his son and daughter tell him, "Dad, Uncle Terry's upstairs and he's naked." He slams down the phone, sprints back up the stairs, runs past his wife, and opens the wardrobe. Sure enough, there was his brother crouching in the corner naked. "What the hell, Terry? My wife's having a heart attack and you're running around naked scaring the kids." And our last joke for tonight was brought to us by Trap344. A Mormon was seated next to an Irishman on a flight from London to the U.S. After the plane was airborne, drink orders were taken. The Irishman asked for a whiskey, which was promptly brought and placed before him. The flight attendant then asked the Mormon if he'd like a drink. He replied in disgust, "I'd rather be savagely raped by a dozen whores than let liquor touch my lips." The Irishman then handed his drink back to the attendant and said, "Me too. I didn't know we had the choice." Well, that's all the jokes we have for tonight, everyone. I hope you had a few good laughs. Sleep tight, and I'll see you next time. This is a bonus joke, if anyone bothered to listen to the end of the video. This is actually one of my personal favorites to tell. So there's these 3 boys and they're driving in a car together. They're not particularly good boys or bad boys, so they wreck the car and they end up going to hell, right? And they're sitting in hell and the devil comes up to them and goes, "Look, guys, you know, I know you weren't that bad during life, but you're still here. But what I can do is I'm going to give you all a chance. I'm going to give you 1,000 years with one thing that you wish for. I'm going to put you in a room, you make one wish, and you get to spend 1,000 years, but then, you know, you got to go to hell for the rest of the time." So all 3 boys, "Oh, that's cool, you know, thanks, man." So he goes to the first guy and he goes, "Okay, so what would you like in your room for the next 1,000 years? And the first man goes, "You know what, I really like food, so I would just say, you know, food from everywhere, you know, all over the world, all the best food. I just want food." And the devil goes, "Okay, good, go into your room." He goes to the second guy and he goes, "What would you like?" And the guy goes, "Oh man, I really want some women. I don't care. They're aliens, black, blonde, gray, yellow, blue. I just want all of them. Women from everywhere." And the devil goes, "I like what you're saying." So he goes into the room and he shuts the door and he goes to the third guy. And the third guy goes, "You know what, devil? I really love weed. So can you just give me some of the best weed that's ever been made from around the world? You know, just piles and piles of it." Devil's like, "Sure, bro." And he goes in the room and he shuts the door. Well, 1,000 years go by and the devil opens the first guy's door and there's just food everywhere. And this guy's like 1,000 pounds, just a mass of blubber and fat and just food stains everywhere. And the devil goes, well, how did you like your 1,000 years? And the guy was like, oh my God, I just ate and ate and ate. Oh, it's so good. He goes, well, that's great. Off to hell with you. And he went to hell. And then he opens the second guy's door, and there's the guy's just laying there amongst all these women, just, stains everywhere, and his biggest smile in the world on his face. So he goes, you must have had fun, yeah? And the guy was like, oh yeah, that was I couldn't ask for more. It was great. You're off to hell now. Snaps his finger and he's gone. He opens the third guy's door, and this guy's just sitting in the middle of this room all by himself, just sitting there rocking back and forth, rocking and rocking. And the devil slowly walks up to him and touches him on the shoulder. He's like, man, you okay? And the guy slowly looks up and goes, man, you got a lighter?